And now, City TV 19 presents Senior Moments.
Hello, welcome to Senior Moments. I'm Bonnie Weber. Senior safety at home is a concern for many. Do you need assistance updating or maintaining your home? Today's show may provide you with some valuable information on where you can get some help to make your home more senior safe, and where to call for services that allow you to stay in your home longer. So sit back and enjoy Senior Moments and find out about SameAddress and your local senior centers. Senior Moments covers events and activities at senior centers in the Ann Arbor-Ypsilanti area, such as the Ann Arbor Senior Center, Turner Senior Resource Center, Pittsfield Senior Center, and the Ypsilanti Senior Center and the Ann Arbor Community Center. Also, the show provides valuable information for senior citizens on such issues as health, wealth, finance, and entertainment. The program premieres on the last Sunday of the month, with reruns on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m., Saturdays at 9 a.m., and Sundays at 5 p.m. on CTN Channel 19 for a month. Coming up, we'll meet Gary Cole of SameAddress. Hello, I'm Bonnie Weber. Today my guest is Gary Cole. Gary is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the organization SameAddress. After visiting with Gary, we're going to take you on a tour of a home that has several safety features that help seniors remain in their home. Gary, I found out about SameAddress through a presentation that you did at the Pittsfield Senior Center. Can you tell us a little bit more about SameAddress and who you're affiliated with?
SameAddress, we are a program of the Area Agency on Aging, oftentimes referred to as AAA, not the automobile company, but AAA. We help older adults remain at home, and the Area Agency has been doing that for over 40 years. Now, SameAddress was launched last July to basically serve a different market, people who can afford to pay. It's a private pay market. And then the beauty of that is we're going to make the money, the profits that we make will stay in the agency to help others remain safely and comfortably in their home as well.
By looking at your website, that you have a lot of different services that you offer for senior citizens. Can you tell us a little bit more about them? Because it is quite a variety that you do offer.
Our goal is to make life simpler for an aging adult. So you can really literally call us, we're called the One Source Solution, because you can call us for almost anything you may need to remain safe, comfortable, and independent at home. Over 40 services. Things like personal care and home care that someone may need if you're managing a chronic illness. But if you're not, and you're just an active adult, you're active older adult, you may want to have us provide chore services. Right now we're getting a lot of calls for lawn care, lawn cutting, of course. And then this is the kind of things that you just don't want to do, and you may want to have someone else do. Or you may want help around the house cleaning, and you know what? We even wash windows. But another big thing that we do is home modification and maintenance. Who do you call when something needs to be fixed? And more importantly, who do you call to modify your house to make it senior safe?
So you have nursing, you have lawn care,
yes,
you have helping modify your house.
yes.
You just have a world of services that just in one place I can call, and you can help me figure that out.
And Bonnie, you just nailed it. Yes, that is what makes life simpler for an older adult, or maybe there might be a caregiver or a child involved who says, I'm looking for answers, I'm looking for solutions, I'm looking for someone that I can trust to take care of my parents. And as a part of the area agency, we have that trust factor. And as that one-call solution, literally with one call, you can ask us to do everything that you just mentioned and wash your windows for you.
So you mentioned a little bit at the beginning about funding. So how are you funded, or how do people pay for the services? How does that work?
So it is all private pay. Okay, so in other words, when someone calls us for a service, we basically tell them over the phone how much it's going to be, or in some cases it depends. How big is their yard? So it's really based on their service, their needs, and what their budget will allow them to pay. In other words, we can provide in-home services, and they may only need 3 hours a week, and that's $72 a week. They may just need their lawn cut, and that's only $25 a week. So we work with the people to understand what they need and develop a plan to meet the budget that they can afford to pay.
So where can someone go that's more computer savvy and they want to go out to the internet? Where can they go to find out some more information about SameAddress?
So there's two ways to contact us, certainly. Our URL or our website is www.sameaddress.com. If I can say that again, www.sameaddress.com.
Okay.
Or our phone number, and we get a lot of phone calls, is 1-866-SENIOR and the number 1. So it's 1-866-SENIOR and the number 1.
Thank you for joining us, Gary.
Thank you very much for having me, Bonnie.
Now, as promised, we're going to visit a home that has been designed for senior safety. Joining us in this tour will be the lovely homeowner Karen and Ken, a SameAddress CAP certified builder. We're going to look at the key areas in the home, the bathroom, the kitchen, the hallway, and even some technology enhancements to help keep your home safe. Hello, welcome to Senior Moments. I'm Bonnie Weber. Today we're on site at a home that has been built especially for the comfort and safety of seniors, the aging population. And we're going to get the opportunity to tour the home and look at some of these safety features that you might be interested in doing to your house if you're planning on staying in your home. But before we get on that tour, I'd like to welcome to Senior Moments the owner of this beautiful house, Karen, who has graciously allowed us to come into her house. Welcome, Karen.
Oh,
Hi.
thank you, Bonnie. Thanks for coming.
Yes, this is such an important issue with many seniors today, or the aging population that want to stay in their home. But safety is such a huge concern. And as all of my fans know, I'm a klutz. I have fallen, I have broken my elbow.
I shouldn't admit I did that yesterday, and I've got makeup on today to cover the bruises.
Yes,
So
I
kindred
do.
spirits.
So yes, so I've done different shows on slips and falls and things. So you have designed this house with this whole safety issue in mind. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a background on why you went that route? And
Absolutely. I've worked in the senior services and Medicare field my entire career, but it became very personal for me when my mom developed Parkinson's. And then more recently when my husband's ability to move around was a bit compromised by all his athletic injuries. So we decided to design a home that would be there forever for the rest of our lives, so we could stay at our same address for eternity. And there are many things that we put in this home that we're not using now. There's some things we may never use, but we tried to anticipate everything to make it possible for us to stay here for the rest of our lives, safely.
that's wonderful. I see that you do have stairs. That was always been one of my worries, is that my house has stairs, and would I be able to remain in the house? So I'm very excited about going on the tour today and seeing what you've done and sharing with our audience things that they might be able to incorporate into their home so that they can stay there for as long as they want to.
And some are simple, some are just that we already use now. I've noticed we just put higher plugs so we don't have to bend over as far. You'll see some kitchen drawers instead of cabinets, more space, more light. Some things we're already using, even though I don't consider myself elderly yet, but I know I'm getting there.
Me too, but you know.
But yeah, and some we'll use later on.
Yes, my husband went through our house and changed all the handles because I have arthritis very severely in this hand. So it's easy, except my cat has figured out how to.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, she's.
The food cabinet.
Yeah, no, my bedroom.
Well, and handles to drawers, things you don't think about, you'll see later. And
Right.
they're just things you don't realize until some of that affects you. And then security, cameras, so if we ever have people in our home,
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
our children, our grandchildren can watch us remotely, like I wish I could have of my mother in New York, and see how we're looking and what's going on, and is it safe, and is there any physical abuse from caregivers, which is rare, but you want to make sure that everybody's safe.
Yeah, those are things that I had not even thought about on there. I kind of have gravitated to like the bathroom because slip and fall.
Very important.
You know,
Right.
Our first house we purchased, there was nothing in there, no handrails, nothing in there.
Yeah.
And the house that my mother eventually came to live with us didn't have any really safety features in the bathroom, so we had to you know, retrofit back a bathroom for her. So I think that's probably where we're going to start today is the bathroom.
You're welcome
I think
to
that's
walk
probably
around and have some experts explain everything
All
to
right.
you.
Well, thank you
Thank you, Bonnie.
again.
Thank you for coming.
joining us.
Thank you.
Hello. Welcome back to Senior Moments. Today we have a tour guide, Ken. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Who is going to take us through this home and show us some safety features that seniors can hopefully adopt to their home if they'd like to stay in their home for as long as they can. So Ken, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
Okay.
My name is Ken Petichka. I am the CAP certified builder for SameAddress.
Well, I'm going to turn the show over to Ken, and he's going to take you through the bathroom and show you some of the great features that they have built into this home. So take it away, Ken.
Thank you. A couple of things that we want to address before we even walk into the bathroom is the lever handles. Obviously, Bonnie is very familiar with lever handles. Another thing here that's very important is the transition between the floors. One thing is that this is a slip-resistant tile that you can use, but the zero transition into the bathroom is very important. So that's one of the things. Another thing that we like to use is a comfort height toilet. Okay, it's set up a little bit higher than your standard toilets. As well, there's a beautiful grab bar here that to help assist in getting off the commode. Another thing, notice the transition into the shower. It's another zero clearance transition. Another grab bar for safety. What's important about these grab bars is that they're able to hold 300 pounds of strength. It's so important if it's a towel bar situation and it is actually a towel bar, sometimes people like to use these for the towels, but they also grab these in case of an emergency. But I recommend that they be strong enough and utilized as a grab bar. Another thing with this shower, there is a shower wand here, and it's able to be adjusted. Another thing is the shower seat, in case you want to sit down.
So what kind of tile is that you have on the floor of your shower?
This is a mosaic tile. What's nice about these tiles is that they're close together, giving you a good grip on the floor.
I see.
A lot more grout joints, gives you a lot more grip to the floor, and making it easier and more slip resistant.
I was reading out online about the toilet area when you were talking about people grabbing towel bars, that if you are looking to check out your house to see the safety, to actually check those, because your adult parent or yourself might be grabbing it and that towel bar is getting weaker and weaker, and
Right.
you might grab it and fall and hurt yourself on
Correct. It's very common. The older style homes, they have a towel bar that's actually set in the tile, and all too often we use those. We think they're secure and safe, but in the case of an emergency, remove those, put in something that's solid. You don't necessarily want to be thinking that is a means to security by using just their standard towel bars. Change them all out, even if you don't think you will need them.
You mentioned that this was a little bit higher toilet than the standard one.
It is, yeah.
Also in the same article I was reading, they said that was one of the problems with seniors, is that they fall or they
Yeah.
slip when they go down to raise the toilet up
Yes.
there. So is that a pretty simple switch out if you
It is.
have a parent and you want them to be able to stay in their house?
It is
to be able to
common.
do?
There's two ways to handle that. One is to purchase a comfort height toilet. Okay, it's a little bit higher than your standards. Your standards are 14 to 16 inches. This brings up to 18 inches.
Okay.
Okay, there's also, you can put a seat riser on it. Okay, now that bolts right to the back. You can pull off your standard seat, your seat cover, and bolt on the handle. It's got a handle, grab bars right on the side of it. They just get a little bit tippy and a little bit slidey. So I recommend just removing that and putting in a comfort height toilet. It's a little more expensive, but it's well worth the investment.
Okay. All right. So is there any other features in here? How about the lighting or the...
Being well lit is very important.
Okay.
All the issues, we really want to make sure that in all areas in the home, lighting is very important, making sure that everything is well lit, and switches are in the most accessible place.
I did notice you said you have a light in the shower.
There is a light in the shower.
That's a very nice feature.
It is.
Because again, that's probably where you're most apt to slip or fall, or when you're tired and you're taking a shower, to have a nice well-lit
Yes,
area.
it is. It's very important.
All right, hi Ken. We are going to go through the hallway situation here, and you can point out some of the unique safety features that we have in this hallway. So first of all, what do we have here?
Finally, what we have is a motion sensing light switch. turns the light switches on whether you touch them or not. Another thing, and notice how wide the hallways are?
Yes, I did.
Right.
They're very nice. So is this kind of designed if you're in a wheelchair or you
Correct.
know, a walker or something like that, it's safer. Now, I do notice there's a rug on this floor.
I know.
So what are we saying about this rug right here?
We always remove the rugs.
Okay, so that would be one of the things that you would recommend is no rugs, no clutter in the hallway.
No clutter in the hallway. Now this is not your standard home hallway. A lot of our homes are a little bit narrower. Our hallways are a little bit narrower, so we want to make sure that like you said, all the clutter is removed from the home.
Okay.
So because those are trip hazards.
All right.
Another thing that we want to take a look at right here is that they have a carbon monoxide detector and also a smoke detector. But notice how high this outlet is off the floor. You raise the outlets off the floor in order for accessibility from a wheelchair. And also the smoke detector. Now, it is quite high, isn't it, Bonnie?
Yes, and especially me being quite short, I would not be able to even reach that on a chair or a ladder. So how do I take care of a smoke detector that's that high?
Well, there's a couple of ways.
Okay.
Newer technology says that they have a 10-year lithium-ion battery in them. You change the fixture, the entire fixture, every 10 years. Never leave your smoke detectors. If you have smoke detectors longer than 10 years, remove them, have them replaced. Now, you can still get the ones that have the 9-volt battery in them. And if you want to, you can call your local fire department. Sometimes if they do this, now you have to check with them first to make sure that they do this. I know in Saline they do.
Okay.
They will come out and change batteries for you once a year.
Change the batteries for you.
Yep.
What if you had to have your whole smoke detector changed, like you said? How could you do that if you're not?
Your local home stores, same address. You can give us a call at 1-866-SENIOR1, and we can schedule an appointment to come out and change your smoke detectors for you.
So that's one of the things, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But that is one of the things that you could do. You could come out and help with that.
Absolutely, we can.
All right. So I see we've got the safe handles. We've got the wider aisle here in the hallway, and we've got the motion detector so that you don't, if you got your arms full or if you're in a wheelchair, it lights automatically come on. So, okay, are we ready to move on to the kitchen?
Absolutely.
All right, let's meet in the kitchen. All right, Ken, now we're here in the kitchen area. What is the most important thing about having a senior safe kitchen?
Well, the key thing to a senior safe kitchen, Bonnie, is to have it accessible.
Okay.
Accessibility is the key thing. One thing, like with this faucet here, it's a single handle lever. For somebody who has arthritic hands, then it's easy to grip this. You don't have to grab it, it's easy to move. Another thing about your water is that you want to make sure that it's no more than 120 degrees. Now that would be set down at your hot water tank. Okay. Another thing in the kitchen is that these drawer banks, drawers are fully accessible. You can access all the items to it. As well, look at the handles on these drawers. You're able to get your hands in them, and you're able to make them easier to pull. If you're going to have a door versus a drawer, then make sure that they have a pull-out tray. Notice these have full pull-out
I see.
trays.
So you don't have to bend over. Things get, way in the back of the cupboard, and you can't access them anyways.
Correct.
All right. Now, I also noticed here again we have some wide aisleway here in between the stove and the sink. So this again is for accessibility.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. For wheelchair accessibility, you want at least a 5-foot turning radius.
All right.
As wide as you possibly can in between here. As well, 42 inches would probably be a minimum.
Okay.
But in the corners, you want at least a 5-foot turning radius going around the corners. But notice also, Bonnie, the wheelchair height countertop.
Oh, I see. Okay. I know some of the smaller homes, it might be more of a challenge, but any kind of things you can do to make accessibility easier so that you can stay in your home longer.
Correct. Bonnie, every home is unique. Every one of them is unique. That's why when I walk into a home as a CAP certified specialist for SameAddress, I look at the maladies of the person, I look at what are their specific needs, and I try to adapt all the different utilities that I have at my disposal, whether it's changing the countertop height, widening the kitchen a little bit, making things a little more accessible, all those different things. So everybody's situation is unique.
So they can, so that my audience can understand. So if you have a home and you want to see about making it safe, they can call you.
Absolutely.
And then you will come out and do an assessment of the home and walk through the home and look at all the different features like that and make recommendations for them. And
Absolutely.
so what are some of the typical things you do?
Well, sometimes I perform the modifications to the homes, but what we do through SameAddress, I will do an assessment on the home. Now there's about 80 different points of interest that I will go through in the house, right from the exterior of the home, walking my way into the home, but I like to see how the person functions in their house. That's the important thing. I like to see what is their normal day-to-day routine, and then I start to adapt what is not safe in the home, and then I make it safe. So there's some things are unique and custom. Like sometimes I'll install handles, change the handles out on the doorknobs. But as well, there's some new devices on the market now that bring the upper cabinets, all the equipment and materials in there down to a lower,
really
accessible, safe
height. So short people too can.
So short people can handle.
I never can get up to the top of the cupboard ever.
There's some great devices on the market now that I'm starting to. And everybody's situation is different, so I'm learning as I go as well, some of the new things that are out there, but mainly everybody's home is different. So I would recommend doing the full assessment.
Yeah, I can remember one of the scariest moments. I walked into my kitchen when my mother was living with us before she passed away, and she was teetering, literally, on a chair, on her tiptoes, getting to because she was shorter than me, getting to the very top of the cupboard, and that's all I could see would be her falling. So I did not know that they had something that can help bring things down. So that would be interesting to know.
Yeah, some of the things cost to have modifications done, but other things don't cost. Like removing the stool.
Yes.
That doesn't cost.
No, it doesn't cost.
But it's one of the safety things that we take a look at. So.
Or simple things like the rug that we talked about, maybe changing the handles, to make it easier, or to have some, a resting place for them to sit, or just, looking how they normally go through their house, to make it safer for them. So so how many points did you say?
There's about 80 different points in there that I go through. 80 different points,
wow.
And we put together a full assessment sheet that you can, they have requirements on them. Some things are more urgent to take care of, some things not so urgent. Some things maybe we can take care of a little bit later on, but they're not necessarily that important
awareness
an issue.
is a huge thing. I mean, it's just just learning about what is available out there to make your life safer and easier. Because I was talking to my son about when I get older and I have to go to a nursing home. No, Mom, stay home. And I said, well, who's going to mow my yard, or who's going to come change my battery on my smoke detector? He said, it's cheaper to stay at home, Mom. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. We'll get help. We'll find some way to get someone to come in and help so that you can stay in your house. And that's what's so wonderful about the organization, is that that's your goal, to help people be able to find the help that they need to have a safe house, not only just to retrofit your house, but just for continued living.
Absolutely. All of those things that we talked about, we can, through SameAddress, we can make arrangements to have lawn care specialists come out, cut your lawn for you. We can make the home modifications, all full concierge service through SameAddress. So there isn't anything that we cannot do for you. We can arrange also to have in-home care or nursing care. We have an RN that's on staff, wonderful lady, I recommend her as well. Together, we oftentimes, now this is very powerful, oftentimes when I have the RN with me on an assessment, she understands a person's physical needs. I understand their physical needs as well, but when it comes to the home, together we really tag team very well and make the home a very viable option for the person to stay age, rate, and place.
That's very interesting that you have an RN go out with you, because with my mother was on oxygen all of the time. That was a huge challenge, just for her mobility in the house, being on oxygen, being on a concentrator or having a portable oxygen tank, or what she was, and just being able to maneuver through the house to do simple things. So that's. I wish I would have had your organization when my mom was still with us, because we certainly could have used your expertise and help. So, I think there's just like one or two more things we want to look at today, and some technology pieces I think we want to look at.
Okay.
We talked with Karen a little bit about video being able to access now with the internet and computers, and checking on your family to make sure that they're safe. So we will go look at that next. All right, Ken. When we were talking to Karen earlier, she mentioned about being able to have your home with technology, so that you could watch, observe your parent or your senior citizen remotely, to make sure that they were safe. That you could watch them on the internet. So this little device here is kind of cool. This plugs into the wall, and the technology, it goes out there on the internet, so you can watch folks from home, and it works as a microphone, and you can hear them.
Right, absolutely. That's just one form of the technology. We also have, this is a smart home. So there's also technologies built into the house that's wired, so that anywhere in the house can see what's going on in the home. Karen had also alluded to some of the things that she wished that she could monitor in her home. So that's why they had these things installed. But with today's technologies, it's so important. People want to keep see their moms and dads safe, and being able to watch them is one thing. You can also, with this particular device, I just found out that it has a microphone that you can communicate through it.
Wow.
So it's wonderful technologies, but we'll...
I know that always worried me. Before my mother came to live with me, she was living in her own home by herself. Neighbors would go over and check on her. One time I couldn't get a hold of her, and I panicked, and her phone battery had died, so it wasn't charged. So the neighbor had to drive over to make sure she was okay. So if you had something like this in the house, I could have just gone on my computer, I could have checked on her, I could have seen that she was okay, and then I could have just let the neighbor know, hey, tell mom her phone needs to be charged so that I can talk to her. So technology is just making leaps and bounds, advances for helping seniors to stay in their own homes and to be safe, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just one more step.
I never would have thought about that.
One more step towards a senior safe home.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's our show for today. I hope it's provided you with some ideas on how to make your home more senior safe. Please stay active and enjoy this beautiful day and the wonderful programs offered at the senior centers in our communities. Thank you for joining us at Senior Moments. I'm Bonnie Weber.